everybody. Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic is more problems with grown-ass children. More problems with grown-ass children. Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, to get us started, I did pull a short video. Let's watch this video, and then we have a letter. We're going to dive right into that letter and talk about this issue. More problems with grown-ass children. Here we go.
Spirit of legion causes these symptoms in your life. Many who have been hurt deeply as a child growing up will suffer with demonic influence from the spirit of legion. Below are some of the characteristics that you will have in your life if legion is affecting you. You'll be discouraged, have a lot of discouragement and hopelessness. You will have significant negative chatter in your mind from demons consistently every day, over 12,000 thoughts a day, of which most are negative. You'll have condemning thoughts that remind you of all your mistakes, all your bad decisions in your past over and over again.
Okay, let's dive into this letter. And first of all, it's a lengthy letter, so I'm going to kind of summarize as we go through it, okay? All right. She starts off and says that she's having trouble with her son. All right, and she has two sons. And she references that she did write me a letter before and all of that, but I do a lot of letters come through here and I don't quite remember all of them, but I do sort of remember your previous letter. But you say here that your oldest son is now 39, and your youngest son is 34. And you and your oldest son have a great relationship. And he stays with me. All right. He always has been protective over me, and we are both on our spiritual journey with the Most High. Okay, all right, right there, I just want to clear up something. Okay. Realize, people, spirituality and religion is two different things, okay? So let's not get it mixed up. I know we're using the same term, but you're on a religious journey. Okay, especially, when we're talking in this forum. So we're all speaking the same language. And for those of you who missed maybe the video when I talked about it, I'm going to just summarize it short. Spirituality is an individual experience between you and the divine source. Okay? There's no external God or anything. It's all energy. All right? It's like a computer energy. And there's a main computer somewhere, and you just try to connect with that main source. That's spirituality. All right? So now, religion, your God is an external God up in heaven somewhere, and you worship that God. Okay? All right. Now, with spirituality, because you are connecting with the divine source, realizing that you are also a part of that source. Okay, so you're regenerating yourself with the divine source. Okay, that's spirituality. But with the religious God, your God sits somewhere and you worshiping that God. Okay? All right. So I just want us all to be clear about that. Okay, here we go with the letter. Now you say that your son also is in this religion with you and all of that. Okay? And he has 4 children, and you get along with everybody in his family. They all love you, the mother-in-law. And as a matter of fact, let me see, did you say on you talk about Mother's Day, how they treated you and everything. So you are happy with them and they are happy with you. All right. Now, your youngest son can't stand you. You say he despises me. All right. And he blames me for everything. And you think that he blames you and for you and his dad breaking up and all of that. I chuckle and because I have a son that kind of went through the same thing, but he's been diagnosed with a mental illness. So maybe you might review that with your son. Okay. All right. But we'll get to that. Let's go on with the letter. I know. See, us mothers, we start blaming ourselves when our children start acting irrationally, or we're saying, "Oh, we did something wrong," and if they never straighten up, even once they get grown, we still blame ourselves that we did something wrong as mothers. Well, mothers, I say, free yourself from that. Totally free yourself from that. Because you did the best you could with the resources and information that you had at the time. Okay? I know you did because that's a natural instinct. You did the best you could with what you had at the time. Okay? You can't go back and change the whole scenario of things so that it will come out to be, different. I spent a lot of time thinking about things like that. And somehow I still believe that things happen that are supposed to happen. It's almost like it's a scenario out there. And no matter what happens, the scenario happens. So sometimes you can change things and sometimes you can't. We're going with the son that's giving you all hell. His family, which he has 4 children, and I guess they all are not from the same mama. You say that they never call you except if they want something, because that's all they know about you. Have you ever tried to bond with them when they were little babies, or did you just stay away because the bad vibe with your son? Maybe your son never brought them over there to you. Maybe the relationship between you and his son so bad that he did not allow the kids to come over to be with you. Okay? If it was that, well, then it was out of your hands. You're saying here that you tried talking to him about it and ask him why he blames you for everything. And he said because that you never spent time with him. Okay? It wasn't anything specific. I had to think about that. Okay. And you say here that you never came to his ball games and all that. All of that is frivolous, whatever. That's not the core of the issue. It's something that's really deep. And plus, you got to look at this. How was he as when he was a toddler? Did you see any signs of this? With my son, I did as a toddler. I saw certain signs that he did, but I was a young mother, And I didn't know any signs or anything like that. And he just seemed like a normal kid and doing what normal kids would do. But now, in hindsight and being more spiritual, I can see that he probably brought this in when he was born into this life. Okay, I know that's heavy for a lot of you who are new and you haven't been following me, but I am a spiritualist, and the advice of whatever I talk about is always through a spiritual perspective. Okay, not religious, spiritual. Okay, so wait a minute. I don't want to get too far from your letter, but I just want to make that kind of note with you because I have a son kind of in that same situation. Okay. All right. So you go on in the letter to make comparisons between the we'll say the good son and the bad son. All right. And the most humiliating thing my younger son ever did to me was put his hands on me based on a lie his dad told him. The next thing, he'll beat you down or kill you. If that rage in him is that heavy for you, it's not much you can do about that. All right, all right. Let's go on with the letter before I really give you my opinion here. Now you put it on his dad that his dad taught him this behavior, and that's really here nor there because he could have came in this world with it. That's why I asked you about when he was little, when he was just walking around being a baby. My son now had signs of it when he was a tiny baby crawling. And what it was, and I'll explain what it was, and maybe some of you can relate to something like this. When my son was able to just crawl around, he got so attached to me that if I ignored him in some kind of way, he would try to hurt himself. And even as a little baby, he would slam his head against the wall or on the floor as hard as he could until it made him cry. And we would pick him up, oh, whatever. But that behavior never went away. In fact, it manifested into something terrible. Okay? So I just wanted to tell you that because realize that we have a lot of forces that we're dealing with here. And into this life, you can be born with karma from your last life. You got to pay it off. It's according to what it was that you did. But remember, I don't want to go too deep because, some people here might not understand it. But just to make it in simple terms, we're believing that things that you do in this life are not forgotten. You don't go to hell and burn up or go to heaven somewhere rested. No, these things here have to be in balance for you to go on to a higher dimension. Okay, that's in spirituality. Okay, so anyway, you compare, blame it on the dad, and I'm saying that that's not necessarily so. That your boy had a demon because your ex-husband had one. It's neither here nor there. Now, if your ex-husband had the same issues dealing with you, then again, he could have had the same demons and he could have passed them on to his son. You see? Yeah. If his dad treated you the same way that the son treated you, then yeah, we can look at that. Okay? All right. You say, I believe that he taught him that behavior, which is evil, witchcraft. Now, if he has a demon, the demon teaches everything you need to know to do whatever the task is that you are pushed to do. Your mission is to do the task. So we're not going to put it on the dad because we don't know about the dad. And then you say here, well, guess what? He's dead now. So you hurraying that the man is gone. We got to be careful about judgment. And, I've said this in a number of videos. Religious people have a real issue with judging others. Religious people have a real issue about judging other people. A number of people out there have been influenced by some sort of religion. And in most times, that influence has been detrimental. But the point here about judge not, be careful about judging your ex-husband and your son. Be careful about that. You can put a label on it, but judging, you don't want to do that because that's an area of karma for you. Okay, that's an area you don't want to go into. So don't judge the dad, and we're gonna know that your son has an issue. It's either that he came in with this spirit, if he had problems even as a child, or if he was a loving child up until you got divorced. All right, now, because you got one loving child, then you know if you got two. If he was a loving child up until the time you got divorced, then he's just mad about the divorce. But if you was having an issue with him, even as a kid, doing something, you understand? Then he came in with it. My advice to you is to cut him off and let him go, no matter what happens. Because remember, when you're dealing with these entities, they tend to stick to you. They're like parasites. They'll stick to you until they absorb all of you. And that's why you see these homeless people, and that they never come to their senses or whatever. They eventually die. It's that parasite just sucking the life right out of them. I hope you understand the message today. I know that got kind of heavy, and I hope that you all kind of followed me as I tried to explain some things to you. Now, for those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, the link is also in the description. Now, don't forget, the new channel, Living Life with Miss Faye, is up and running. So if you want to see what I do during my daily life, check me out over there. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your letters and your comments. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next